Hey guys, I'm the 50s Kid. Project Black Savage is finally here. I finally got it over to my garage. You see that red piece of paper? That's a temporary operating permit. I was finally able to get that because the car is technically registered in my name now. It's not completely registered because I still need to get it smog checked. The reason it took so long, I feel like I owe you guys an explanation, is because we had to go through a lien sale process on this thing, and that turned out to be so incredibly difficult in California. I had to redo it 2 or 3 times, you know, so we definitely lost at least a month because my buddy was just too lazy to go to the DMV to like start the process going. So that's his fault. I'm totally going to blame it on him. I'm doing this project with a friend of mine, by the way. He's the one putting up any money I need for parts, and he's my best friend. We do things like this together. So he's putting up all the money and stuff like that. Not that I don't have the money, but he found the car is what it is. He found the car, and it's just sort of something we do together, just, you know, as friends. Anyway, he's putting up the money, so he was supposed to be lien saling it and then selling it to me at the end of the lien sale. And he was just too lazy to get the process started, but I finally made him do that, and so that was a month delay. And then we had another month delay in just messing up the lien sale process. Apparently, you know, we would send it in, they would send us back a letter 2 weeks later saying, you know, denying it, putting a hold on the whole thing. We called, they told us what exactly to do to change on the next time we resubmitted it. We did that, sent us another letter saying the same thing. You got to change this, this, and that. We did that. Finally, the lien sale went through. That was a couple of days ago, early September. So here we are, I have it now, and you know, I had all the paperwork except for a smog check, so they couldn't give me free and clear registration and title and all that stuff. They gave me, you know, they let me pay for it. They gave me most of the title work, and I just need to go ahead and get it smog inspected, and once they have that, then we're all free and clear. But I know that, you know, when I have it to this point, it's all gonna work, it's gonna be fine. I just need to get it smog checked. So it does have some check engine lights right now, and I will be taking care of those in the course of this video. But first, I think I really need to throw a bucket of water over it because it's just so dirty, and especially on the inside, it's just so like scuzzy, and it still smells a little bit. Because again, it was left with its windows cracked a little bit in a field for like a year. That's when we found it. So it's just kind of got elements in it, and you know, just everything on the inside is just so dirty, and it just needs to be wiped down. And I'm gonna take the seats out. I'm gonna vacuum up all the carpets and shampoo all the carpets, and hopefully that'll get rid of, you know, just the smell that it unfortunately has. I think it definitely will, because, you know, we already did that carpet cleaning video a couple weeks back, and that one definitely took the smell out of my car. But in my car, it was just sort of the old car smell of, you know, just the other owner's sweat and, you know, just the leather getting old. It was that sort of kind of perfume in that car. But you know, that definitely went away when I did what I did. So I think that's going to happen with this car as well. Anyway, I guess today I'm just going to be doing sort of a vlog style video where, you know, I'm not going to do detailed DIYs on all these things because I've kind of done most of them already, but I'll turn the camera back on and I'll show you just kind of important points, and you know, I'll just diagnose whatever DTCs we got in there and just kind of show you what the fixes ended up being and so on and so forth. Anyway, let's get started. So here is the before. Here's what it looks like in the relatively mild sunshine of September. Got those scrapes along the door there, and yeah, there is some damage in the door here, which I believe I've mentioned in a previous video. So that door will need to be taken care of. I might end up just getting another door. It might be, you know, it might be just a little more cost effective, to be honest with you, rather than just fixing and painting all that. I think I'm gonna need to be doing some paint anyway. So you can see up here, we got some fade there. I don't know if that's just in the clear or if it's in the paint. You can see there are lots of like scratches on here. I don't know how these are gonna polish out. So I think I'm gonna try polishing all that stuff first, and then we'll see, you know, where we are with that. I can see a little bit of fade on the top here as well. It's probably going to be a little easier to see once I clean the thing off. And right here, it's kind of hard to tell, but I can see scratches right here where, I don't know, somebody tried to do something. but I can also see that they tried to polish into the paint right here. This is the gray sort of primer layer underneath the paint. So somebody already screwed that up, and there's no choice. That needs paint, and we're gonna need to clear coat the whole panel, which is not really hard, and luckily black is just the easiest color to do, to match. So I'm not gonna need a lot of paint. I can just hit some paint on that, just right there in this little area, and then just clear coat the whole panel. So that should be relatively easy. Again, I'm not sure exactly how deep these scratches are yet, whether they can be polished out. There are some tricks you can do with things like that, but again, this one, it might just be easier to hit that with some paint and hit it with clear coat. Clear coat is not that expensive. You can get a gallon of it for, I don't know, less than $100, I believe. Probably like 80 bucks. There's some damage here to the paint, a little bit. I think that's actually clear coat. That could be polished out. Somebody went and put SSR, or yeah, SSR right there. Just kind of scratched it in. Lovely tweakers. And then somebody put LSVK right here. So that was real nice of them. Hopefully those things can be polished out. They don't feel like they're deep, deep scratches, but we'll have to see. And it does look like the paint's faded along here, along the top of the bumper here. Not too big of a deal. Again, that can be painted, so we just need, if that can't polish out, a little bit of paint there, a little clear. That actually, honestly, might just need a new layer of clear coat, and that might just come out fine. I don't think that's actually paint damage. Let's see, what else? That should be probably about it for the paint. So yeah, let me throw some water over this thing, and let's see where it is after that. So here's where we're at after a bucket of water. Car looks good from 10 feet away, but you know, as you get up closer and closer, you can definitely see all the flaws and whatnot. So yeah, definitely it's easier to see the damage here and here now. Just a little bit of a side swipe on something. Yeah, again, not sure whether or not I'm just going to find a whole new door, because cost-wise, you know, for paint and clear and Bondo and all those materials, you know, you might end up spending exactly what you would spend if you just went and got a new door in a junkyard. So I'll have to sort of price that one out and see where that's at. Clean up the wheels just a little bit. They do have some road rash on them. Some of them are really worse than others, so that'll definitely be a video, I think. I can't tell right now if there's anything wrong with this fender. I could definitely tell that there's something wrong with the line where it meets the hood. It's a little bit high right there, but I can't tell if that's the fender or if it's the hood yet. I'll just have to sort of study that a little bit more. We all know what's wrong with the bumper here. No worries. Both of the bumpers are gonna get resprayed. That's you know, that's not too difficult. So yeah, we'll do the wheels and everything. We have this clear coat damage right here. I believe this stuff should definitely polish out. I had water over this a little while ago. When you wet something down with water and the scratches disappear, you absolutely know that you can get those out. I think some of them disappeared and some of them didn't. I can definitely tell that this car has been polished before because there's no orange peel anywhere. So somebody tried to polish this thing at some point in the past, and that's obviously what they did right here. So I mean, yeah, somebody did the whole car, but there are just areas on it where, I don't know, there's just damage, and then there's a bunch of swirl marks, and I have no idea. I mean, they must have just done a bad job on it or something. Let's see, what else? Yeah, up here, I think, boy, I can't remember right now, but I think that we're gonna be able to, well, yeah, okay, I was gonna say we might be able to spray some clear coat on that only, and it might just, you know, disappear. But I had the water over it, and I can still see it faintly, and that kind of tells me that we're gonna need some paint on that area. Like, it's a little bit more than clear coat damage there. So not too difficult to fix that. Again, with black, you don't have to worry about blending anything. You know, you can just kind of spray on the color right there, spray, 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 and then just clear coat the whole panel. So we'll need to clear coat the roof. We'll need to clear coat the hood for sure. Need to paint a little bit here and clear coat that. So that's unfortunate. Let's see, what else do we need to actually paint? I think all of this should polish up, you know, all this stuff here should polish up. They might, I don't know, I can feel these a little bit, so I'm gonna have to work on those a little. I'm not entirely sure about that. Again, spray the bumper because of this faded paint right here. The fade just goes a little bit beyond the clear coat, a little bit into the paint, so we'll spray that, you know, so both bumpers need to be sprayed and clear, or, you know, need a little bit of color, and then they need to be clear coated. The roof needs to be a little bit of paint clear coated, and the hood needs a little bit of paint and clear coat. And I'm not sure about this fender. I want to say that this has definitely been crunched in like this, so it might be new fender time, or used fender time, obviously, at the junkyard. So we might be grabbing one of those. And again, I have not decided on the door yet. I haven't decided what I want to do. I have to balance work with, you know, how much work one thing's going to be versus how much work another thing's going to be. Because I would probably need to take off a lot of the internal components of the door at the junkyard. Just take out the window, take out the door card, just everything, all the airbags, you know, because you're going to get charged for all of that stuff, and just take the actual door. And then there, you know, it's the time and putting all that stuff, you know, taking all that stuff out of this door, putting it all over, and versus just trying to pull some of these dents out a little bit, maybe with a suction cup, or it's probably honestly going to be more like paintless dent removal, where I would use a little slide hammer thing that gets stuck on and just kind of pull that out as much as I can, and then Bondo, you know, sand, Bondo, sealer, primer, color, and clear coat. I don't know, haven't decided yet. Anyway, we are, this is where we're at right now as far as the outside of the car. Let's go ahead, take a look at the inside of the car, because that's the real dirty part. Oh yeah, nice and dirty, nice and dirty. You can just see it's just all dirty right here. Ooh, and it smells bad too. We got to get all the dirt out of this thing. I think it's just mostly the carpets and just the dirt itself. So yeah, time to remove the seats, wipe down all the upholstery and all that stuff, and clean the carpets out, vacuum them up. This will be fun. Ew, so dirty. But the dash is cleaner. I got to spray some Armor All stuff on it. I put the Armor All stuff on the doors already, and they're kind of good. And then I've got some dusty fingerprints on them, but I don't know, they've kind of cleaned up. But yeah, we definitely just have to do this because it's so dirty. So the seat's out. I'm going to vacuum everything up. I'm going to shampoo these carpets, do it on both sides, and then we'll be done with the cleaning. So here's the after. Just shampooed, vacuumed and shampooed the whole carpet. Here's this side. Yeah, it looks like the rats got to the carpet there. Not a big deal though. Cleaned up pretty nice. Definitely helped the smell. Get out of here, Mr. Fly. Need to get one of these little, need to get the cover for this. There was a little bit of water in the bottom of this right here. I don't remember when it rained last. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to throw the seats back in, and we will call it a day on the cleaning, and then we'll get on to other things on the list. So those carpets also cleaned up pretty nice as well. So we last left off with the end of the day yesterday. I kind of forgot to vlog towards the end of that day. What I did was I pulled the car into my garage, put it up on jack stands, and I changed the oil, and then I had to go do a bunch of errands and stuff. So it's another day. It's Sunday, and I've been taking a look at some things, and let me show you what I found. Well, I decided to address the DTC codes on the car, and one of them is a bank 2 sensor 2 heater circuit. And what I did to test that is actually, this is going to be the bank 1 sensor 2. This is going to be the bank 2 sensor 2. So
This is the harness side. This is the side that goes to the engine computer. This is the side that goes to the sensor. And I was comparing that with this side. It was comparing both of the heater circuits. And it turns out we've got voltage on this heater circuit on this side of the connector, the computer side, but we don't have any voltage on the computer side on this connector, which means the wiring harness is bad. There's bad wiring between here and the engine computer. And since I've always planned to just replace all of this wiring right here, I actually have a new box. It's over here. So it's right there. This is the box that is that I got from a junkyard. You can see it's that whole box that holds the engine computers that goes in there, along with all the various connectors and everything. It's got wires coming out of it. 2 of the wires are for the transmission, and then all of these other wires that come out of it up here. These are all 4 of these wires are those wires we were just looking at the top of the on the top of the engine right there. These are for the O2 sensors and whatnot. So I'm going to swap over this whole box. So that's part of the plan there. While I was doing this, I got diverted. I was working on this headlight situation here. We've had a broken headlight, and I figured out why it was. It's because there's no bulb in it. But more than that, we've got a broken headlight because this little disc right here became dislodged and was kind of just rattling around on the inside of this thing. And there's been no way to split this case open until now. I just was able to start getting it open by using a heat gun and just kind of melt the adhesive that was keeping the 2 halves together. So I was doing that, and then in the middle of that I was thinking, I should turn the camera on. So I'm turning the camera on, I'm going to put it on the tripod, and we'll see what that whole kind of process looks like. It looks like I've gotten it quite loose. I'm going to have to heat it up again because it's cooled down a little bit since I started to pick up the camera and get everything ready. So let me put the camera on the tripod, and let's see if we can finish fixing this light. So I just had my heat gun on the first setting to just kind of get this adhesive warm, and it was actually kind of pulling away pretty nicely. It's obviously pulled away almost all the way along that side, along this side right here. So I could probably get in there at this point, but I need to get over to this area, so I want to get that part of the case sort of all the way off if I can. It feels like the adhesive they used in the door seals, you know, those foam rubber door seals, if you ever go to do your window regulator, they've got just this black gunk that you can sort of peel back and then reuse. It's just so thicky and gummy and tar-like or something. This is I think it's the same stuff. So if I just kind of melt it, the properties change a little bit, and I can just sort of get into this thing. So I'm doing this on top of all kinds of junk that just keeps falling off. So we need to clear a little space here. But we need to not lose some of these pieces. So I'm guessing, or I guess, what I want to do is see if I can get the lens out of this lower corner down here. And maybe if I just hit this edge here with a little heat, that might finish the job. Let's see where we get. Let's see what we got. That feels pretty good. I don't want to break anything, is the thing. I don't want to hear a snap, you know? So, okay. That is it. That is how those 2 things are glued together. What a mess. So now it looks like this inner piece here is just kind of screwed into the plastic bezel itself. So now I just need to do that. Need to get that off of there and see if I can, or maybe I can just figure it out like this. Just figure out where these things are supposed to slide. Okay, I see a little registration thing there. There. That's what it's supposed to be. So now all we got to do is stick this all back together, and hopefully I'll be able to do that without any problems. I see a little bit of plastic in there, right there, that kind of shattered, but I'm going to ignore it. Yeah, it doesn't seem too bad. Seems like it's from this area up in here, but I don't think that that will change anything as far as the sealing of this. And that's really all I care about is, you know, will this thing seal water out? I think as long as this black goo is there, we're going to be pretty much good. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see we've got adhesive most of the way around, kind of missing some a little over here. Let's just look and see. It looks like there is some here. So it's going to be going into an area that has adhesive. So, okay, I'm not worried too much about that. I think to prevent this stuff in here from rattling around, there's no HID light in here. I got to get a new one. But I'm going to put this on such that it won't rattle. I believe the connector is supposed to be something like this. Okay, yeah, it goes the other way. So that's how it's supposed to be, like that. So I think what I'm going to do to get these two things glued back together is just run the heat over them, get them warm, just get all the edges warm, all of these edges warm with the heat gun, and we'll just kind of sandwich everything back together. Tell you what, man, if I couldn't have fixed this thing, it would have been really bad, because these are just impossible to find in junkyards, because this is a late model headlight after the facelift of the coupes, and they're just, they just never show up, you know, or if they do show up, they are already damaged and the headlights are just broken and gone. So this was kind of my only bet here, to try to take this thing apart and service it, get it back together. I guess this is not really a service, but fix it and get it back together. So let's squish this in where it goes, which is there. Just generally give it a squish on all these areas. It snaps over this little snap right here. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way I found it. I'm going to warm up some areas, see if I can squish them in closer. Probably have to find a way of like squishing and holding them together so that they just kind of make the best seal possible. I think that's probably as good as I can get it, as good as it was, certainly. I mean, that is absolutely how I found it before I even started this. I think I'm happy with that. There were two screws. This broke off. This was something, one of these right here. So I guess that was a clip that held that right there, but nothing I can do about that really, except maybe try to melt the plastic back together, which I could try. There were two of these little torque screws that just kind of went into the sides. There's also a little drain tube here. Hopefully I didn't push it off the table or something. But anyway, I think we definitely have fixed the light. So yay, we're not going to be running around with a little light bezel just rattling around on the inside of there, which looked really bad. So now I think I can proceed to polish these lights up, and they should be they should be back to new. We're missing a cover for here and a cover for here, but I think you can buy them. So there's that. So we'll go ahead and call this a fix. Let's see, how was this in here? I think it was like like that. Goes like that. Goes like that. Okay. Okay, so we'll call that a fix.